The stars were calm, but the galaxy was not calm. For centuries, the Galactic Empire had stretched its hand across countless worlds. They moved from system to system, demanding tribute, demanding submission. Every race they touched bent the knee. Every planet gave resources, ships, or soldiers. None ever refused. Now, it was Earth's turn. The alien envoy ship was larger than any human city block. It descended into orbit like a dark shadow. Its surface gleamed with metallic scales, pulsing with energy that seemed alive. The people of Earth looked up and felt both awe and fear. Yet in their hearts, something stronger than fear stirred. Inside the United Earth Council chamber, the most powerful leaders of humanity sat together, presidents, generals, scientists, and even common representatives. They waited as the great doors opened and the alien envoys walked in. Their tall frames and glowing eyes reminded humanity that this was not just another negotiation. It was judgment. The leader of the envoys, a towering being clad in silver armor, stepped forward. His voice carried a deep vibration that shook the chamber itself. "Humanity of Earth," he declared, "you stand before the will of the Galactic Empire. The galaxy demands tribute. Your resources will flow to the Empire. Your fleets will serve as soldiers in our wars. Your children will be taken as hostages of loyalty. Refuse and your world will burn." Gasps filled the chamber. The words were cold and merciless. Yet the envoy's face remained calm, as though he had spoken something ordinary. To him, this was routine. He had said the same to dozens of planets before. Each one had surrendered quickly. The envoy lifted a hand and projected holograms into the chamber. Images of ruined planets appeared. Cities turned to dust, races shackled in chains, their voices silenced, their culture erased. "This is the fate of those who resist," the envoy warned. "This is what awaits if you deny the command of the Empire." Around the table, humanity's leaders exchanged heavy glances. Some were pale with fear, others clenched their fists in rage. They all knew the truth. The alien fleet above Earth could destroy their cities in minutes. But deep inside, they also knew another truth. Humanity was not like the others. Humanity would not bow so easily. The envoy continued, his tone arrogant and proud. "You humans are young. You are new to the stars. Do not mistake your little machines and weapons for power. The Empire has ruled for 10,000 years. We have crushed enemies far stronger than you. Your survival depends on obedience. Give us what we ask, and you may live under our shadow. Refuse, and you will not live at all." The chamber grew silent. The words hung in the air like poison. No one dared to answer yet. It was not because they had no response. It was because the weight of the moment was too heavy. Whatever humanity spoke next would decide the future of their species. A single cough broke the silence. One of the generals leaned forward, his eyes steady. "You ask us to betray ourselves," he said softly, "to give our children, our freedom, our very lives to your empire." The envoy's glowing eyes narrowed. He did not like interruptions. "I ask nothing," he corrected. "I command." Whispers spread across the chamber. The humans could feel the weight of history pressing on them. Every race before had chosen survival over pride, they wondered. Would humanity do the same? The envoy slammed his staff on the floor. The sound echoed like thunder. "I will give you one chance," he declared. "One chance to speak your answer, Bo, and you will be spared. Refuse, and your ashes will join the ruins of those before you." For a moment, no one moved. The leaders of Earth sat frozen. The world seemed to stop outside. Billions of humans waited, watching the skies, waiting for the decision that would shape their lives. Then a quiet resolve began to grow in the room. They remembered the history of their own people. Humanity had faced empires before, tyrants before. They had been outnumbered, outmatched, and underestimated in every age. Yet again and again, they had risen. They had endured. The envoy's gaze swept across the table. His lips curved in a cruel smile. He thought he saw hesitation. He thought he saw fear. To him, humanity was already broken, but he was wrong. The leader of Earth slowly rose from his chair. His steps were calm, his shoulders firm. His voice did not shake as he looked the alien straight in the eye. "We have heard your demand," he said, "and we will give you our answer." The envoy leaned forward, hungry for victory. "And what is your answer, human?" The leader's lips curved into the faintest smile. He took a breath, then prepared to speak. The chamber fell silent. Every human, every alien, every listening device across Earth and orbit strained to hear the words. The fate of Earth balanced on a single moment, and with one word humanity was about to change the galaxy forever. The word was not yet spoken, but its shadow already hung in the chamber. Every leader of Earth felt the fire burning in their chest. Yet the envoy stood tall, convinced that humanity's silence was fear. He thought they would fold, just like all the others, but humanity remembered. Far above Earth, the alien fleet glittered against the stars. Thousands of warships hovered in formation, their weapons primed and ready. They were symbols of the Empire's dominance. Each one had conquered worlds before. Each one carried the screams of those who surrendered. To the aliens, this was just another day, another victim to chain. But for humanity, this was the greatest test they had ever faced. In secret rooms hidden deep within Earth's mountains, generals and scientists gathered. They looked at maps, data, and weapons never revealed before. The alien envoy had spoken of strength, but humanity had been preparing for years. They had listened to the signals of the galaxy. They had studied the fall of other species. They had sworn never to repeat their mistakes. The generals whispered among themselves, "If we kneel, we die slowly. If we fight, we may die quickly. But at least we die as humans, not slaves." Yet the scientists had other words. They spoke of machines not yet seen, of weapons waiting in silence, of plans that had been written in the shadows. Humanity was not as weak as the envoy believed. Humanity had claws hidden beneath the skin of peace. The council debated deep into the night. Some argued that survival was all that mattered. Others shouted that dignity was worth more than life. The air was thick with anger and fear. But then an elder among them spoke. His voice was soft, yet it cut through the noise like a blade. "We do not need many words," he said, "only one word that tells the galaxy who we are, one word that will not be forgotten, one word that will make them tremble." The chamber stilled. The leaders looked at him. The word he carried was not yet revealed, but they could already feel its weight. Memories of Earth's past rose like ghosts. Humanity had been slaves once. Humanity had been conquered once. They had fought kings, tyrants, empires that believed themselves eternal. And every time humanity had clawed its way back, their history was soaked with struggle but also with victory. The elder raised his hand. "We must choose our word carefully. It must be more than defiance. It must be a promise that we will never kneel, a promise that we will fight until the last breath, a promise that we are not like the others, we are humanity." The council fell silent again, but this silence was not fear. It was resolve. Outside the chamber, the people of Earth gathered in cities and villages, watching screens, waiting. No one knew the decision yet, but in their hearts they felt something. Rising, they felt unity. The farmers, the workers, the soldiers, the children. Every human waited, their future hung on a single word. Above them the alien fleet stirred. Their commanders laughed. Their arrogance filled the skies. "The humans are taking too long," one sneered. "They are afraid." But another alien officer frowned. "No, they are not like the others. I see it in their eyes. They do not look broken. They look dangerous." On Earth, the leader of humanity walked alone for a moment. His mind carried the weight of billions. He remembered the images of enslaved worlds. He remembered the warning of the envoy. He remembered the eyes of his people watching him. He whispered to himself, "We cannot be like them. We must be more." When he returned to the chamber, the council rose. They had chosen. They would not bow. They would not beg. They would speak with one word. The envoy re-entered, impatient. His voice thundered, "Have you chosen your fate, humans?" The leader stood tall. His heart beat like war drums. Around him, the council waited, silent, united. The envoy's glowing eyes burned with pride. He expected surrender. He expected chains. But what he was about to hear would change the galaxy. The leader leaned forward, his lips curved into a sharp smile. The silence was heavy, almost unbearable. The envoy's armor hummed with power. Yet for the first time, he felt something strange, something he had not felt in centuries, a shadow of fear. The leader took a breath, his voice calm, steady, unbroken. And then at last, he spoke humanity's one word. The chamber was silent, a silence so deep that even the hum of the alien envoy's armor seemed loud. Every human in the room felt their breath catch. Every alien aboard the fleet above Earth leaned forward to listen. The question of surrender or defiance balanced on a single moment. The envoy's smile stretched wide. Dare. He had seen this before. Whole worlds standing at the edge of rebellion, only to fall back into fear. He was certain humanity would follow the same path. He had no doubt that the word about to be spoken would be yes. Yes to tribute, yes to chains, yes to slavery. But humanity was not like the others. The leader of Earth raised his head, his eyes locked with the envoy's glowing stare. His voice carried calm steel as he spoke the word that had been chosen. A single word, short and sharp. It rolled across the chamber, echoed through the comms, and shot into the stars. No. The envoy blinked, his face frozen in disbelief. For a heartbeat, the chamber was still. Then his laughter erupted. It was a cruel, mocking sound. No, he repeated. Do you even understand what you say? Do you even know who we are? The Empire does not hear no. The Empire destroys no. But his laughter did not erase the power of the word. Outside, across the world, billions of humans heard it. Billions whispered it back. From crowded cities to remote villages, one word rose from their lips. It spread like fire, like thunder. No. The envoy's mocking laughter faltered. He expected fear, but he heard strength. He expected silence, but he heard defiance. His glowing eyes narrowed. You have chosen death, he growled. But deep in the heart of Earth, something greater stirred. The scientists who had worked in hidden labs smiled at the word. The generals who had sharpened secret weapons clenched their fists. The people of Earth stood straighter. In that one word, they found unity. The envoy leaned close, his armor hissing with power. Do you know what you have done? You have doomed your world. The leader of Earth did not flinch. His voice was calm as stone. We know exactly what we have done, he replied. We have spoken for every human alive. We have spoken for every child yet unborn. We have spoken for the Earth itself. The word no carried more than rejection. It carried promise. It carried challenge. It carried fire. And the galaxy felt it. On distant worlds enslaved by the Empire, whispers spread in the shadows. Rebellions that had long been silent stirred once more. Species that had forgotten hope felt it return in their veins. The word echoed in their hearts. If humans could say no, perhaps they too could resist. In the War Council of the Empire, generals slammed their fists on tables of light. They dare defy us? One roared. They are nothing but children playing with sticks, another hissed. And yet their word spreads like poison. If this defiance is not crushed at once, it will inspire others. Fear crept into the Empire's halls, the kind of fear they had not felt in thousands of years, because one word was harder to kill than any army. Above Earth, the alien fleet stirred, their weapons charged, their cannons aimed. The commander's voice echoed through the void. Prepare to strike, prepare to erase this world from the stars. Yet even as the order spread, the humans did not cower. In hidden bunkers, in command centers, in orbiting stations, humanity prepared. Their fleets were smaller, but their resolve was larger. Their weapons were fewer, but their spirit was infinite. The envoy glared at the human leader. Your no will be your grave, he spat, but the leader only smiled, a cold, fierce smile. Then let our grave be remembered. Let it be the spark that burns your empire. The envoy stepped back, his face twisted with rage. He turned and stormed out of the chamber. The sound of his footsteps echoed like thunder, but behind him, the humans remained calm. The word had been spoken, and it could not be taken back. The people of Earth raised their heads. They knew war was coming. They knew fire would rain from the sky, but they also knew something greater. They knew that for the first time in galactic history, someone had dared to say no, and that one word made the galaxy tremble. The envoy stormed out of the chamber, his silver armor glowing with fury. Behind him, the echo of humanity's words still burned in the air. One simple word, small in sound but infinite in meaning. A word no other world had dared to speak. Above Earth, the alien fleet stirred like a nest of hornets. Their massive ships shifted into attack formations. Engines roared, cannons hummed. The sky was filled with the promise of fire. The commander of the fleet raised his clawed hand. They have refused. Prepare the cleansing. Across Earth, sirens howled, screens flickered with warnings. The people stared upward as shadows of alien warships blotted out the sun. Fear rose in their hearts, but so did resolve. Humanity had spoken no, and now they would pay the price. But deep beneath mountains, oceans, and deserts, humanity's secrets awakened. Massive bunkers opened, revealing weapons hidden for years. Fleets of sleek ships, long kept in silence, lifted into the sky. Satellites that once looked like harmless eyes suddenly unfolded panels, revealing cannons of pure energy. The aliens laughed when they saw the human fleet rise. Compared to the Empire's armada, humanity's ships looked small, fragile, pathetic. One alien commander sneered, "Their no will be erased in seconds." Yet as the two forces faced each other, something shifted. The humans were not trembling. Their ships did not scatter in fear. Instead, they moved with chilling precision, every formation perfect, every movement sharp. Their discipline was unlike anything the aliens had seen before. In the council chambers of the Empire, distant generals watched the broadcast. One whispered, "Why do they move like that? That is not the movement of prey." Another muttered, "Something is wrong. Something is hidden." The alien commander above Earth raised his hand. "Destroy them." 1,000 alien cannons lit the sky. Beams of fire streaked toward Earth and its defenders. Explosions ripped through the void. Yet when the smoke cleared, the alien smiles faded. Many of their shots had missed. Deflected by invisible shields humans had never revealed before. Gasps echoed across the fleet. "Impossible," one officer hissed. "How can primitives have this technology?" The human ships answered. A storm of missiles and beams cut across space. Not wild or desperate fire, but precise, calculated strikes. Alien ships erupted in flames, one after another. Their formation cracked, their arrogance shattered. On Earth, the people watched in awe as the impossible unfolded. Their tiny fleet was standing against the giants of the galaxy. Their word no was no longer just defiance, it was power. Inside the flagship, the alien commander slammed his fist against the console. "This is a trick," he snarled. "They cannot win." But even as he spoke, more of his ships fell. Their shields pierced, their hulls broken, their crews silenced forever. Back in the chamber on Earth, the human leader stood tall, his voice steady as he spoke to the envoy through the comms. "You thought no was the end, but no is only the beginning." The envoy's face twisted with rage. His glowing eyes flickered with something he had not felt in centuries. Doubt. He had seen resistance before, but never like this. He had seen rebellion, but never this level of unity, this level of fire. And in the far reaches of the galaxy, the word spread. Broadcasts of the battle carried to enslaved worlds. Billions of eyes widened as they saw alien ships burning. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire's armada was bleeding, and the word no echoed louder, carried on every signal, whispered by every mouth. The Empire's council convened in panic. Some shouted for immediate retaliation. Others whispered of danger. One spoke the words none wanted to admit. "If we do not crush them now, humanity will become a symbol, and symbols cannot be killed." Above Earth, the battle raged. Human ships darted between the giants, striking like wolves among herds. Each victory added weight to their defiance. Each explosion lit the sky with hope, but the alien commander still had weapons unseen. His eyes burned as he activated a command. Deep within the flagship, a hidden chamber unlocked. Inside was a weapon of ancient design, a weapon meant to erase entire planets in one strike. His lips curled in a cruel smile. "If they want no," he growled, "then let them say no to ash." Humanity's defiance had shaken the galaxy, but the greatest test was yet to come. The battle above Earth burned like a storm. Alien ships exploded one after another, their arrogance shattered by the precision of human fleets. The galaxy watched with wide eyes as the impossible unfolded. A young race was standing against the Empire, but the envoy's smile returned as his commander activated the hidden chamber. Deep inside the flagship, lights flickered, codes long forbidden were entered, and the weapon of ancient terror awoke. It was called the Starbreaker. This weapon was not made for battles, it was made for endings. Its purpose was simple: erase entire planets, leave only silence. For 10,000 years, the Empire had used it only twice. Entire species had been wiped from the stars, their memory turned to dust. And now the weapon was pointed at Earth. On the flagship's bridge, officers whispered nervously, "Commander, if we use the Starbreaker here, it will be seen across the galaxy." The commander's eyes glowed with cruel pride. "Let them see. Let them watch. Let every slave race know what happens when they dare to say no." The weapon began to charge. Its energy core pulsed brighter than suns. Even from Earth's surface, people looked up and saw the glow. Fear rippled across the planet. Mothers held their children. Soldiers gripped their rifle. Yes, everyone knew this was not a battle anymore. This was survival. Inside Earth's hidden command centers, alarms screamed. Generals stared at the readings in horror. "If they fire that weapon, we cannot stop it," one muttered. But the chief scientist stood tall, his voice steady. "We cannot stop it with guns, but maybe we can stop it with something else." In a secret bunker deep beneath the ice of Antarctica, a machine hummed to life. It was humanity's greatest gamble, a weapon not of destruction, but of disruption. They called it Project Mirror, a system designed to bend energy itself to reflect what was sent against them. The generals hesitated. It has never been tested at this scale. But the leader of Earth's council spoke firmly. "Then let this be the test. If we fail, we are gone anyway. If we succeed, the galaxy will never forget." Above, the Starbreaker roared as it neared full charge. The envoy watched from Earth's council chamber, his face twisted with cruel triumph. "You should have bowed," he sneered. "Now your planet will be a memory." The human leader met his gaze, calm and unshaken. "You think you hold power," he said, "but you do not understand what true power is. True power is the will to stand, even when the stars themselves fall against you." The weapon fired. A beam brighter than 1,000 suns tore through space. It screamed toward Earth, cutting reality itself. Alien officers cheered, believing victory was certain. Whole fleets paused to witness humanity's end. But then the impossible happened. The beam struck the atmosphere, and the air shimmered like glass. The world itself seemed to bend. A vast shield of light spread outward, not absorbing the beam, but catching it, shaping it, turning it. Project Mirror had awakened. The Starbreaker's own energy curved back upon itself. The beam that had been sent to destroy Earth twisted like a serpent, racing back toward the flagship. The alien commander's smile vanished. "No, no, this cannot be," he shouted. His officers screamed, "Boo!" It was too late. The flagship was engulfed in its own fire. A sun bloomed where the ship had been. The pride of the Empire was ripped apart by the reflection of its own weapon. On Earth, the people raised their fists to the sky. They had seen death coming, and they had seen it turned away. Their no had not only survived, it had destroyed the very hand raised against them. Across the galaxy, enslaved worlds erupted in whispers, then in cheers. In the dark minds of conquered planets, slaves threw down their chains and shouted no. In hidden caves, rebels lifted their banners. The word had become more than defiance. It had become revolution. In the Empire's council, silence fell. The oldest among them trembled. "This cannot be," he whispered. "They have turned the Starbreaker against us. If others see this, if others follow them, our rule will collapse." Another slammed his fist. "We must crush them at once. Send everything. Burn their world to ash." But another voice rose, low and fearful. "And if they turn it back again, what then?" For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire was divided. Back on Earth, the human leader stood before his people. His voice carried across the world. "We said no," he declared, "and the galaxy heard us. The Empire thought their weapons could silence us, but we are not afraid. We will fight, and we will win." And the galaxy trembled. The explosion of the flagship lit the void like a newborn star. Alien ships reeled back in shock, their pride shattered, their confidence bleeding into fear. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire had tasted its own weapon. On Earth, the people roared, their voices carried across cities and fields. Their defiance echoed beyond the skies. Humanity had not only survived, they had humiliated the masters of the galaxy, but victory came with a shadow. The Empire's rage was not broken, only sharpened. In their Grand Council, voices rose in fury. "Destroy them," cried one warlord. Send the full weight of the armadas, burn Earth until not a trace remains. Others warned, they are dangerous. Their defiance spreads like fire. If we crush them too slowly, rebellion will rise on every world. The debate raged, but one truth was clear. Humanity had become the center of the galaxy's storm. Above Earth, the remaining alien fleets regrouped. Thousands of ships still hung in the void. Their commanders snarled, they are bold, but they are small. Let us show them what true war is. The order went out. Entire sectors of the Empire were mobilized. Reinforcements tore through hyperspace. Their numbers grew into tens of thousands. The sky above Earth darkened with metal, a storm of war. On Earth, humanity prepared. Hidden factories roared to life. Shipyards spat out vessels faster than ever before. Soldiers marched. Pilots climbed into their cockpits. Scientists tuned weapons that had never seen battle. Humanity knew what was coming. They did not flinch. In the council chamber, the envoy returned. His armor cracked from rage. His voice venomous. You fools, he hissed. You have awakened something you cannot fight. The Empire does not forgive. The Empire does not forget. You will drown in our fire. The human leader stood, his face calm. We have already drowned before, in our own wars, in our own blood. And yet we stand. If you bring fire, we will rise from the ashes stronger than before. The envoy's lips curled, but behind his glow there was unease. He had seen something in these humans that unsettled him. They did not look at the Empire with fear. They looked at it with hunger. The great battle began. Alien fleets descended in waves. Their cannons unleashed storms of light. Entire cities on Earth shook. Oceans boiled. Mountains cracked. But the humans struck back. Their fleets darted like wolves, striking weak points, retreating, then striking again. Every alien expected humans to fight like prey. Instead, they fought low. Ike predators. In one corner of the battle, 3 human ships cut through a formation of 20 alien cruisers. They moved as if one mind controlled them, weaving through fire, unleashing destruction. The alien commander watching gasped, "This is not random. They fight with purpose. They fight with strategy we do not understand." But Earth paid in blood, cities fell, thousands perished, yet every loss only hardened their resolve. On the ruins of broken buildings, survivors lifted their voices. No, they whispered. No, they shouted, until the word thundered once more across the world. In the middle of the chaos, Project Mirror activated again. Alien beams twisted away, striking their own allies. Ships burned in confusion. The Empire's mighty fleets began to falter. Their strength was turning against them. Still the aliens pressed on. They could not retreat. To retreat from humans would mean shame before the galaxy. It would mean weakness, and weakness was death for an empire built on fear. The human leader addressed his people once more. His voice broadcast not only across Earth but stolen into the Empire's networks. "We are humanity," he declared. "We do not bow. We do not break. To every world watching, rise with us. The Empire is not immortal. Its chains are not eternal. Together, we will shatter them." On distant planets, slaves lifted their heads. Secret rebels cheered. Armies that had been crushed whispered, "If they fight, so can we." The Empire's admirals saw it, and their fear deepened. Humanity was no longer just a defiant world. Humanity was becoming a beacon. On the battlefield, the alien commander unleashed his last weapon. A ship the size of a moon entered orbit, its cannons dwarfing anything seen before. "End them," he roared. "End them now." The ship fired. The ground shook. The sky split. Humanity braced for death, but deep in Earth's hands, something moved. A hidden fleet no one had yet seen rose from the depths. Giants of steel, armed with weapons forged in silence. They rose like sea monsters, unleashing fire into the heavens. The alien supership staggered under their strike. The galaxy gasped once more. Humanity was not done. Humanity was only beginning. The sky above Earth was fire. Alien warships burned as they fell. Human fleets, though battered and broken, still fought with unshaken will. Each explosion was not an end, but a signal to the galaxy. Humanity was standing. The alien supership, the one built to end worlds, staggered under the surprise attack from Earth's ocean fleet. Its mighty cannons unleashed another blast, scorching the clouds. But human weapons tore holes in its armor. Its glow flickered. Its pride cracked. Inside the ship, Alien officers shouted in panic. "We cannot hold them. Their resistance is unnatural," their commander snarled. "They are only human, they are nothing, yet they fight like gods." On Earth, the people raised their eyes to the burning sky. They saw death, but they also saw hope. The word they had spoken together still echoed. No, no to surrender, no to slavery, no to fear. In the council chamber, the envoy trembled. His glowing eyes flickered with something he had not felt in centuries. True fear. He stared at the human leader and whispered, "What are you?" The human leader answered with calm fire. "We are the voice that said no, and that voice will never die." Across the galaxy, enslaved worlds erupted. In the dark minds of distant planets, slaves dropped their chains and shouted. In the forests of conquered worlds, rebels rose from the shadows. In every corner of the empire, sparks of rebellion lit into flame. Humanity's defiance had become their anthem. The empire's grand council gathered in their throne world. Their voices were filled with panic. "If we lose Earth, we lose everything," one cried. "Already our fleets crumble. Already our slaves rise," another shouted. "The humans must be destroyed, it at all costs." But an elder among them spoke, his voice shaking. "We do not fear their weapons. We fear their word. That word spreads faster than any ship. It cannot be shot. It cannot be silenced. It grows." The council chamber fell into silence. For the first time, the rulers of the galaxy felt their throne shaking beneath them. Back in battle, the alien supership gathered its last strength. Its core flared like a dying star, ready to unleash destruction one final time. Human ships swarmed it, knowing that if they failed now, Earth would be ash. The commander of the ship roared, "You cannot stop the Empire." But his voice was drowned by another. The voice of humanity, broadcast from Earth, broadcast from every rebel world that had joined in. Billions of voices shouted the same word together. A single thunder across the stars. No. The supership fired, but its beam was met with defiance. Project Mirror surged once more. The hidden ocean fleet struck at the same time. Human ships rammed into its sides, sacrificing themselves to break its core. The ship shuddered, then erupted. A star was born and died in the same breath. The Empire's greatest weapon was gone. The battle ended in silence. Alien ships scattered. Some fled into hyperspace, others powered down their weapons. Their commanders could not believe it. They had faced prey, and instead they had found predators. On Earth, the people cheered. The sky was scarred, but it was theirs. Their voices rose again, louder, stronger. The galaxy trembled not because of humanity's weapons, but because of their will. In the ruins of the Empire's throne world, messages poured in from every corner of their domain. Uprisings, revolts, declarations of freedom. One counselor whispered, "It is over." Another asked, "What destroyed us? Their ships? Their science?" The elder shook his head. "No, a single word destroyed us." The envoy, broken and silent, fell to his knees before the human leader, his pride shattered, his voice small. "What will you do now?" The human leader looked at him, not with cruelty, but with unshakable resolve. "We will do what you never could," he said. "We will build not an empire, but a future where no one kneels again." And so it was. The galaxy had been ruled by fear for 10,000 years, but now it was ruled by a word carried on the breath of billions. A word that shook chains, a word that tore thrones. That word was humanity's gift, humanity's weapon, humanity's destiny. No,